If you've ever lingered on the bustling Istiklal Avenue in Istanbul, you have likely witnessed a near-magical routine that leaves onlookers completely spellbound. A man dressed in traditional Ottoman attire, holding a long-handled iron spoon, repeatedly strikes a pale, elastic paste inside a deep bucket. He playfully teases a scoop of ice cream toward a customer as if playing with a kitten, only to flick his wrist with masterful precision, sending the scoop arcing through the air and vanishing right back into the bucket. This is Dondurma, the legendary Turkish ice cream whose name literally translates to the frozen thing. In Chinese, its name is a brilliant piece of onomatopoeia, perfectly mimicking the rhythmic thumping of that long spoon against the bucket. Today, this delicacy is far more than a cold treat to beat the summer heat. It has evolved into a proud national icon with an annual export value of $75.63 million. A captivating street performance staged across more than 30 countries, and a sweet empire driving a staggering $2.458 billion in annual retail revenue. To truly understand Dondurma, we must rewind the wheels of history to the 13th century, a chaotic era when the hooves of the Mongol Empire trampled across Eurasia. High up on the Anatolian plateau, the Seljuk Turks were living out the final days of their golden age. And while they had not yet invented ice cream, they possessed a profound, ancient wisdom for striking a bargain with nature through the use of snow pits. In the deep valleys of Kahramanmaraş province, where winter blanketed the earth in thick snow, locals would dig massive underground pits. They lined them with heavy layers of straw and leaves to store pristine ice and snow, sealing the top with soil and woven mats so that even during the scorching heat of summer, the temperature at these subterranean depths remained frozen between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. After half a year of storage, this ice and snow would be unearthed and mixed with honey, dried fruits, or rich fruit extracts to create a frozen dessert called karsambak, which stands as the most ancient ancestor of Turkish ice cream. The real revolutionary transformation occurred roughly 300 years ago during the peak of the Ottoman Empire. Centering around a street vendor named Osman Aka, he earned his living delivering a hot beverage made from milk and salep powder to local mansions. A drink immensely popular among the Ottoman elite for warming the stomach and spleen while offering secret health benefits. One sultry summer evening, the oppressive heat left Osman Aka's signature hot drink completely unsold. And refusing to waste such a large batch of expensive leftovers, he relied on the ancient wisdom of the snow pits and buried the entire bucket deep within an underground ice cellar. When he returned the next morning to check if the drink was still salvageable, he discovered a miracle. The liquid had completely vanished, replaced by an extraordinarily thick, dense, cream-like substance that radiated a cool, milky aroma. It no longer flowed, instead possessing a physics-defying elasticity that caused his spoon to become hopelessly stuck when he tried to scoop it out. Guided by instinct, he grabbed a long-handled wooden mallet and began pounding it repeatedly to force it back into a liquid state. Yet the harder he struck, the tougher and more resilient the paste became. The shrewd Ottoman vendor quickly realized that what he held was not a ruined batch of milk, but a golden secret to delight the masses and conquer the heat. Prompting him to abandon his hot drinks, hang the beaten paste from a long-handled iron spoon, and launch a brand new street performance that forever etched his name and the town of Kahramanmaraş into the global history of ice cream. If you ever attempt to scoop authentic Turkish ice cream with a standard ice cream scoop, you will likely end up with a bent piece of metal, a reality driven by two miraculous ingredients interacting at the molecular level. The first and most important is salep powder, botanical asset extracted from the tubers of a wild orchid native to the mountainous regions of Turkey. It requires between 1,000 to 2,000 wild orchid tubers just to yield a single kilogram of this precious powder, rendering it incredibly rare and expensive. Salep is packed with a natural gum called glucomannan, a substance with extraordinary water-absorbing capabilities that acts like a ravenous sponge, tightly locking in free water molecules and creating an incredibly dense, unbreakable network structure. Because the Turkish government strictly bans The export of this botanical asset and wild orchids are strictly protected under CITES. Genuine Dondurma is nearly impossible to authentically replicate outside of Turkey, forcing overseas street vendors to often use common thickeners to poorly imitate that elasticity. The second crucial ingredient is mastic resin, natural resin harvested from the mastic tree that yields a subtle, captivating aroma of pine and cedar. In Dondurma, mastic resin acts as a structural binder rather than a flavoring agent, serving as a natural plant glue that reinforces the protein web built by the salep powder, elevating the texture from merely thick to exceptionally chewy so that it makes it distinct. Sound like soft candy being torn when cut by teeth. Because this texture is so incredibly tough, ordinary kitchen mixers will quickly overload and burn out, requiring heavy-duty industrial equipment or traditional masters who work like blacksmiths, using heavy, long-handled iron rods to relentlessly pound and stretch the mixture inside. It's massive ice buckets to pull the colloidal chains tighter and longer. The famous teasing routine used to sell this ice cream actually began as a profound act of human kindness, according to legend. An ice cream vendor in the Ottoman Empire noticed a young boy crying uncontrollably on the sidewalk due to the stifling heat. And wanting to comfort the child, he extended a cone of ice cream, only to playfully yank it back the moment the boy reached out, accompanying the trick with exaggerated head shakes and funny facial expressions. The boy was so captivated by the silly game that his tears instantly turned to laughter, and this spontaneous, warm-hearted gesture was soon copied by other vendors, gradually evolving into a fixed cultural hallmark of interaction. However, when this deeply regional tradition was transplanted into the aggressive arena of globalized commerce, it began to mutate, particularly in China, following the 2010 Shanghai World Expo. Turkish ice cream became an overnight viral sensation on short video platforms, drawing massive crowds with loud bells, exotic music, and theatrical teasing. But as greed took over, the experience soured. Single scoops were slapped with exorbitant price tags of 30 to 50 yuan that far outweighed their culinary value. And many vendors cut corners by slashing or entirely removing the expensive salep powder in favor of cheap, artificial thickeners. When a culinary masterpiece loses its soul and its unique texture, leaving behind nothing but a hollow shell of customer teasing, consumer fatigue becomes inevitable, which led to a steep, cliff-like drop in popularity across the Chinese market after 2020. Despite these local setbacks, Dondurma firmly retains its formidable commercial value and cultural influence as a world-class intellectual property. In 2026, even as Turkey faces domestic economic shifts, the ice cream market continues to build on its massive momentum, historically capturing annual retail revenues of $2.458 billion and a total consumption weight of 438.1 million kilograms. Turkey's per capita ice cream consumption sits at a whopping 12 kilograms per person, meaning an average Turkish family of 4 eats nearly 50 kilograms of ice cream a year, roughly the weight of a full-grown adult. Furthermore, with dynamic annual exports reaching approximately 21.47 million kilograms of ice cream to over 30 countries worldwide, the nation rakes in $75.634 million in valuable foreign exchange to feed a fiercely loyal global fan base extending from the United States to the United Arab Emirates. Today, renowned traditional brands like Mado are leading a grand migration, shifting Turkish ice cream from noisy street corners into elegant, high-end boutiques where the ice cream is served in thick, majestic slabs to be eaten with a knife and fork on delicate plates, beautifully garnished with traditional Turkish nuts, honey, or baklava, simultaneously to capture the hearts of health-conscious younger consumers worldwide. Modern variations are emerging, featuring Dondurma, crafted from oat milk or almond milk, alongside all-natural concepts that honor the truest taste of goat milk and pure salep. Even back in the Chinese market, vendors are adapting to local tastes by launching limited editions like matcha and red bean milk flavors, proving that by shifting the focus back to product quality and respecting diverse consumer cultures, this ancient desert is achieving its ultimate evolution, transforming from a street spectacle you merely watch into a premium lifestyle to be embraced.